Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Notes to Self. My name is Melanie.
And I'm Cory.
We were both born and raised in a polygamous church here in Utah called the AUB, or the Apostolic United Brethren. I was raised with 34 brothers and sisters and 4 mothers.
And your dad's a current
And my
prophet.
dad's a current prophet. I forgot I said that backwards.
And my dad had 9 wives, 39 kids, raised us up in Pinesdale, Montana, because I can say that, in a compound or United Order up there. We all lived in the same house. These guys didn't. They were all in separate houses.
Right. So we are going to be talking about sister wives today. We are finally going to make our recap of season 20, episode 8, Making Out Like Teenagers, which was gross. If you saw that scene, it was very gross. I don't know why Cody gives me the creeps. He just comes off so creepy and so like almost a little slimy the way that he
should be careful on what he wishes for, because I remember making out as a teenager and it didn't go so well. So, yep.
I had great makeout sessions as a teenager.
I did not. I was weak sauce.
Cory didn't have any game until he got older. And then I had to convince him he had game. But one day you're going to get there, babe.
Yep.
So we want to remind everybody to do your healing work so that when people make fun of you of not having game, then you can heal really quickly from that.
Or mention that your dad's no longer here. So
why you got to do that? Why you got to make
a lot of healing I had to go through.
If you missed our last video that we did, Cory says a joke and he says it to people over and over. And then if I repeat the same joke to him, he has this way of making me feel like I am the guiltiest person on the planet because I made fun of him. The very first time after Cory's dad passed away, and he was like, Father's Day came around and he's like, I can't celebrate that holiday anymore. And I'm like, why? And he's like, because I'm half an orphan now. What the hell? But if he says something like that, he can do it.
I can make fun of it.
I have a tender heart. This man has no heart. So therefore it's harder. But please do your healing work. If you are a human with a human body, you have experienced trauma, and we encourage everyone to start healing whatever traumas may have occurred in your lifetime. There's so many different ways. I get so many mentions in the comment. How do you start your healing work? Therapy. Go to therapy. Go to find out something that triggers you, makes you upset. And that would be the very best place to get started right away.
Yep.
Is whatever upsets you. Somebody says something to you about your father passing and you get upset. That might be something you should go into therapy for.
Yep. Check, see why it hurts. So
see why your little heart hurts right here. Damn it, kid. So this episode, if you caught our Sunday night wind downs with this, we don't really drink a lot, especially since my surgery in July and Cory gets gout. We are not huge alcohol drinkers for those reasons. But when Sunday night, when we watch Sister Wives, somehow
a little bit.
Just a glass of wine just makes it so much more fun and makes it go over so much easier. So if you haven't caught that, we did do that on Sunday evening. We figured out a way we can watch Sister Wives at 8 p.m. instead of 11 p.m. because that was killing me. And I think my videos were a little bit more, maybe not as nice because we were watching it at 11 p.m. and we had wine, and who stays up that late and drinks? That's just insane. So last week we were able to do it at 8 o'clock. We were able to do it at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time and have a glass of wine. And really, I mean, if you look at the glass I used, it was like 3 glasses in one because it was a really big, huge Christmas glass, but it was cute. So we used it. So there was a lot for us to think about on this episode because there was just so much that happened. And I think so many behind the scenes things happened. Now, as most of you have probably seen, my mom is currently suing my dad for land, and we'll go into that in a different video. We won't necessarily go into that, but that process has maybe given us some behind the scenes reasonings as to why some of these things are happening in some of these episodes regarding Coyote Pass. And so we're going to talk a little bit about those on this episode as well. Go ahead.
Well, and I don't know, I haven't seen I've now seen kind of 2 lawsuits, both including polygamous men.
Yeah.
Both of them wanting the wives to not be able to talk about it.
Right.
So it's interesting. It might happen elsewhere too. I just haven't been aware of it. But
most polygamous men don't want their trash or their laundry exposed, especially not to the people that they know, the people in their little brotherhood or their church.
Well, they don't want they don't want their monies being talked about, how they handle their money. So
Right.
for multiple different reasons, they're not in the church anymore. None of them are, I don't think. But
well, my dad is.
Yeah.
And he wants my mom to sign an NDA.
Yeah. But that's so probably, I mean, they're telling the church that they're paying a full tithing. And when it comes out that they might not be paying a full tithing.
I see where you're going. I'm like, where are you going with
The
this?
church might be a little upset.
I see.
So
that makes sense. Yeah.
they don't want people talking about their money. So
it's very true. And so this whole NDA thing really just got both of our brains churning. It made us both start thinking about like what is really happening behind the scenes that we're not seeing. And I feel like there's so much. Cody even said that you haven't seen jack about what has happened with behind the scenes. So, anyways, that's what we've been talking about too. If you haven't seen our NDA video, I am currently under an NDA with my parents and their separation. That is on our profile if you want to go check that out. The video is named "My Mom is Suing My Polygamous Father," so feel free to go check that out if you want to. On this episode, it says "Making Out Like Teenagers," and we start the episode with Baby Brush, which, I mean, she's just as cute as she can be. Now, we're not going to be on the same timeline because we waited so long that we have the More to Love episode that's out and along with the regular episode. And so we might jump back and forth a little bit because they changed the episodes of what you can and can't, what's in each episode. So we start out with Baby Brush, and she's, I mean, what an adorable little baby. I love that. I really do love watching Madison be a mom. I just think she's the cutest mom. What are you going to say?
Yep. Nothing. Yeah.
Okay.
In More to Love, they took out the scene that I got the biggest kick about. So.
Yeah. So we're going to start it out with, we're going to show you guys a little clip here. And we're going to start out with this one because Cory, whoops, wrong one right here. Okay. Cory thought this one was hilarious. Let's go.
Robin's coming up with pretty cool terms.
Hey, can you be my lovely assistant?
Yes.
I gotta find my tools.
Here I am standing here holding the bag.
She tries to be funny.
Bag holding
I'm
the
the
bag.
one who came up with the term beautiful assistant. He just likes to have someone there. He likes an assistant.
I came
And they
up
just
with
have
the term.
this like really sort of menial job.
Where do
you want me over here?
Well, no, I just
holding the bag?
I just barely had it.
There you go.
Yeah, she comes up with cool terms. I come up with cool terms. So the interesting part on this one was all of their statues. I saw Sid the Sloth up there, and then a phoenix rising out of the destruction of 3 marriages, something like that. So I'm sure they all have meaning. So,
well, okay, now you made my brain go blank. Sorry. So they're talking, and I feel like, yeah, Robin's going to be the lovely assistant. There's back and forth online. Like, did Robin make that up? Because then she flat out says, I made up the term lovely assistant. And Christine's like, yeah, no, we've been saying that for years. Mary's like, I never got the honor of having that name bestowed upon me. I don't know that would be that great of an honor, because what Cody Brown thinks is a beautiful assistant is completely different than what I would think a beautiful assistant is. But there you go. Then we go to the point where he goes to kiss her when he's all done with the fire mantle or whatever. I can't decide quite what he was doing right there. He goes to kiss her and she pulls back really quickly because he's so pokey. His face is so pokey. And I mean, yes, that has happened with Cory and I sometimes, but not very often. Cory's usually pretty good about keeping his face maintained. It's just not maintained very well in our videos. He just smirks, laughs. I have to go back and watch some of his smirks because people are like, Cory's face. But she talks about facial hair. This is a video that I have actually had on my to-do list for a very, very long time with facial hair and the way that it affects different women in the polygamous church. It's actually a pretty big subject of conversation because so many women have so many different ideas of what they want their husband to look like.
Well, and you know that you're the favorite wife, or you're getting ranked up there if he is adjusting his hair, his facial, if he's doing it so that it can please you and it's not pleasing to another wife. She likes a full beard. You get him to shave off his beard, then you won. So
yes,
you are the number
it's
one
an
wife.
unspoken
It is rivalry.
Yes.
That's why
yes.
they all like different kinds of facial hair. They could all at the beginning like, oh, I like this guy with a goatee, but yeah.
It is very unspoken. And what's interesting is that when I was younger, I had a little sister from another mother, and my dad decided to shave his face clean. He'd had a beard, a full beard, and a goatee my whole life. And he decides to shave his face clean. My little sister from the other mother, she lost her mind, started bawling her head off, crying, so upset. And he was like, okay, I guess I'll grow it back, because her mom was the favorite wife. And so he did. He grew it back. And I think my dad's had facial hair a good chunk of his life. He's kind of gone up and down in moments when he has and hasn't. But this is actually a really big topic of conversation. Again, it's a like a competition. Who does he love more? Who is he going to go? And so I love it when Mary's like, oh, I love a good facial hair. Christine's like, that's like eating an egg without salt. Why would you not have facial hair? And then Janelle's just like, you know what? I don't care about this game. I don't want to participate in this game. I don't really care what he has on his face. I'm sure Janelle has a preference. And the reason I think I'm sure she has a preference is because didn't they say Sam Elliott was like one of her sexy people that she loves on TV? So I think Janelle has, but she just doesn't want to play the stupid games. And which is funny to me, because at the end of the episode, as they're showing previews for next week's episode, Robin's like, or Cody goes, Robin doesn't like girl games. Excuse me? At the beginning of this episode, she just did one of the biggest girl games I've ever seen in polygamy. She gets to control what you have on your face, because it's not going to be her.
Yep. Wow. Hey, there you go. Wow.
Thanks. And so it's like, I don't know. That's one of the biggest girl games. And I feel like they did that for TV so that she could be like, check, another thing I won over you wives. Look, he's going to change everything about his facial hair and then isn't Robin the one who got him to start wearing ringlets? I'm pretty sure she is.
And like, yeah, you won.
Yeah. Like,
enjoy it. So
doesn't she do that at one point in the show too? Oh my gosh. The way
I won, I can still control him. This is awesome.
I'll put as much energy into just being good humans instead of who gets to win the facial hair contest.
Yep.
Like, let's go for it. Oh my God. She did so many different things in this episode that made me just want to. So anyways, we killed that subject to death. But I'll actually make an individual video about it because it is actually a very funny conversation. Okay, so here, let me get over here. So the thing I thought was so funny is it's like, how many times do you have to convince a man, dude, she's just not into you. So he's like, so if I shave this off, can I have more kisses? Can we make out like teenagers? And she's like, yes. Oh, are we going to and she gets like all giddy and all excited. And I'm like, the way she acts right there is such an over the top way that these polygamous women control their husbands. I have seen it a million times. It's like, I don't know, if you came up to me and said, I'm going to shave my face, I'd be like, okay, if you want to look like a 14-year-old pedophile, like, go for it. That's up to you. But this is another way that these men or these women manipulate and control these men, is by the over exaggeration of an emotion like that. Like, oh yes, you're going to get kissed all the time. We're going to make out all the time.
I guess I won't shave my beard or my face.
Every time you do, you look 14. It is the craziest thing.
Almost said something else too.
I know. It is. It's such a.
And I love this scene too because it's typical Robin. Okay, you did what I wanted. Kiss, 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 kiss.
And
done.
We showed up for the cameras enough. I don't need to hug you and kiss you anymore.
Yep.
So
yeah, this is too
and
much.
I don't know why every time Cody goes in for a kiss, closes his eyes, pucks up his lips. It just looks creepy to me. So hold on, here
He's
we
trying
go.
to be romantic.
He is. He's like, it is. He's trying to be romantic in it, and it's not.
That's so nice. Woo-hoo-hoo.
Ugh.
Oh, you just
Yeah.
you went wait.
I know I went
Oh
way
well,
too.
but that's the perfect scene right
There you
there.
go, right
She's perfect scene where she's just okay.
We have to suffer through what you guys do.
That's so nice.
Oh, that means I'm going to get kisses.
I like it. Mm.
Ah, so much better. Oh my goodness.
No.
That's like, yeah, let's just make out. That'll be great.
That's so nice.
More kisses, please.
That's so nice. Woo-hoo-hoo. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why that feels so gross to me. It looks so gross to me. It feels so gross to me. It's just, I don't know why, like, I don't know why Cody Brown just, it does. It makes my stomach churn. So, but then we, sorry, we flip over to David and Christine, and they're talking about finances. And I find it interesting that Christine has brought up so many of these different dynamics about their finances. They do bring up Mitch, and I wanted to bring in these bonus scenes. They do talk about Mitch helping Truly learn how to drive.
Mhm.
And Mitch, I feel like, has really stepped up in Christine's children.
Mhm.
With Christine's children, he has really stepped into a father role figure. I feel like most of these
Role
younger men
model.
have to do this. Yeah. In your family, I feel like
Mhm.
all of the boys have had to step in. There's one dad and 30 kids.
Mhm.
And so these boys step in and take on, unfortunately, these father role figures. We all saw Logan do it. But what I love is when these men that marry into the family do this too. And I know it frustrates people. This is why I think my dad had such a hard time with you in the
Mhm.
first 10 years of our marriage, is because all of the girls would go to you for things.
Mhm.
They would cut all of my sisters. My mom's got 7 girls, and even my sisters outside of my mom's girls would go to Cory, and they'd be like, Cory, we need help with this, or we need help with that. And right after Cory and I started dating, my mom had her youngest child, who was a little girl, and she only wanted to be around Cory. And so I really appreciate that Mitch has stepped into that role, because Cody obviously has dropped the ball on that and isn't a part of it. My dad didn't understand why my baby sister only wanted Cory if he was around. And he's like, how long has this been going on? And my mom's like, if you were around more often, you'd see that she's preferred Cory her entire life. And so this is very common in these polygamous situations for these men. You're smirking over here.
Mhm.
She does.
Well,
and even
they
to this
don't-
day, she will reach out to you.
They don't show up. He's spread too thin, and he wants to spend the time with
His wives.
his wife, his favorite wife, and his favorite group of kids that are
Yeah.
really strong in the faith. And so they choose to focus all of their energy somewhere else, like Cody's doing with Robin and her family.
Yeah.
And totally ignore all the other kids. So,
Well, and even to this day, she's 25 now. And to this day, you guys will still chit chat. She'll call and ask for advice. Or
your sister? Yeah.
Yeah. And she'll call and ask for advice, and I don't know what to do about this. What do I do about this? And so, where she has zero relationship with my father anymore, Cory has stepped into that place and shown up for her. So I really appreciate that about Mitch. I just wanted to throw that in there, because that was on one of the bonus scenes, that Mitch is going to be the one that teaches Truly how to drive. And that he's also the one who taught Gwendolyn how to drive and Isabel how to drive. So I love that for them. So even though the father is absent, there are other figures that step in and support
Older brothers.
Mhm.
Yeah.
In my family, though, not so much. That was kind of
Yeah.
the sad part, is that my brothers, they flaked out on that. They had no care to give. I did have one older brother that did care and would show up sometimes. But he got married and left, kind of like stepped away from our family about 20 years ago. I think you've only met him like 2 or 3 times, because he just hasn't had anything to do with my family that much. But yeah, but my other brothers, no, they have not shown up as brothers. They have not shown up as, like, what would I even call that? Where
Well, they're brothers.
they're brothers, but they're not, they definitely are not supportive of their sisters in any way.
Well, yeah. it's a different dynamic. They're showing up as brothers instead of guiding role or something. I don't know. I feel like that some of them show up for the sisters that way too, but
Yeah.
you're the oldest, so you're more of the helping parent too. So,
Right. Well, where we both were, where Cory showed up that way for your sisters, because you are the oldest.
I had an older brother that showed up that way for me too. So
right. So okay, so then David and Christine are talking about finances, and I thought it was kind of interesting to see the way Christine brought this all up. It's almost like I don't know. It's like I feel like they're using the camera to take jabs at each other. And I felt like that's kind of how this conversation was with David and Christine.
Christine and David taking jabs at each other?
At Robin.
Oh, okay.
No, because she was like, yeah, we all put the same amount into the family pot. Because David comes in, Christine's got a whole bunch of Amazon on the counter, right? And David's like, what are you doing? How much are you spending? And she's doing gifts for baby showers and birthdays and things like that. And she's like, I don't have a rising phoenix on my fireplace, sweetheart. I'm not spending that much money. I don't have a doll curio cabinet. But so I think, so I think that they're taking, these moments to stab at each other. Yeah. Go ahead.
I think it's just pointing out the difference of the way that they both spend money. And I'm sorry, she still is frugal and a wise business owner.
Right.
So she's just kind of showing that.
Well, and then David says, what are we going to do when we go down to just my income? And she's like, we'll address it then, won't we? But she knows, and we all know, she's buying Airbnbs. She's investing her money in what appears to be wise investments. Now, we don't know everything she's doing, obviously. But she's, we're both in real estate. We both believe real estate is one of the wisest investments you can do. And so she's not buying paintings on the wall for her real estate investments as much as, she is.
She's decorating them and doing stuff. But they're income that's coming in for the family.
But I love the way
he hasn't been able to get anybody. Well, Mary chose not to live in his barndominium, so he can't even rent that out to her.
He can't even give away an Airbnb space. Well, now he's got a barndominium, a 2,500 square foot second home. But they talk about, Christine talks about how they all put the same in, but she doesn't know what everyone took out because Cody was basically in charge of the family account, and it never crossed her mind that maybe somebody would take out more than what they needed. Again, I think they're using the camera to take little stabs at each other. Mary came in, and I think it's funny that they all address money. The ones who are actually creating assets are addressing the money thing, and the one who doesn't say anything. So they go to Mary, and Mary's like, what did Mary say about it? I didn't even write it down. But Janelle says, finances got bumpy. There was a lot of wrinkles, and there was a lot of ugly too. And because Janelle saw where the money went. And this is one thing that really frustrates me about sister wives or about the women in polygamy is a lot of times they just write over a check without any sort of accountability. Hey, where's this money going? What's this going to go to? How am I, are my needs going to be taken care of? And so Cody, at his leisure, can write money out of the family pot. And everyone wants to say it wasn't even because Robin didn't put her portion in, but she did because the family got paid to do the show. And all of that money went into a family account from what we've seen, from what we understand. Now, maybe Robin wasn't filmed as much as the other wives were filmed, but obviously she can't do that anymore. She has to show up for filming. She has to say more than one word in order to make a paycheck. I feel like she was like gung-ho at the very beginning of, again, we're only on season 4, but she was really gung-ho, and then she backed way off and only did what she had to do. And now she has to show up because the other 3 women are out and she doesn't get their paychecks anymore. So I thought that was...
Now she's saying a lot more in last couple episodes I've seen.
Right.
And sounding just as dumb as Cody, so...
Yeah, but she actually has to show up for work now and get paid. She can't just not show up because the other 3 wives are going to get paid before she's going to get paid. So she actually has to show up now.
But in our culture, in the culture that we grew up in, the man is responsible to take care of the family and put the money where he feels like it needs to go. And if a wife is kind of holding him to account, that can cause a rift in their marriage. She
Yeah.
could be the wife that he doesn't go hang out with that much.
Yeah.
So sometimes the wives just, that's an argument. If I bring something up or I ask a question, it's an argument, and I don't want to have this argument. So,
well, and I think part of
they're
it too
keeping sweet.
is you're taught to never question your leadership. So it goes in multiple layers. For the women, they never can question the husband. For the husband, he can never question his priesthood leaders. And so there's multiple layers to that. And so you just give without accountability. And the minute that you want to hold somebody accountable. So when you get married in the Mormon temple, in the polygamous temple, part of the covenants and agreements that you will make when you go through and get your endowments and you get your garments and all that, one of the promises that you make is that you will never speak ill of your priesthood head. You will never speak ill of your leadership. And so that can be, men have taken that statement and really made themselves kings almost over their wives, because it's like, don't you question me. You made a covenant, you made a promise that you're not going to be speaking ill of me, and so they take a lot of freedom with that promise.
Yeah, because they're being held to the same, they're having to honor their priesthood head too,
right,
and not question him. So whoever's in charge of him giving finances to, he's having to give an account to him that he's paying a full tithing.
Right.
If he's in a united order, that has joined a united order, that he's giving all and then collecting back what the united order feels like his family needs to
what they
have.
need.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And here's another way I feel like Christine is kind of doing a little stab there, is she starts talking about truly going to college, because Cody, a couple episodes back, maybe it was season 19, I don't remember, he was like, well, who's going to help us pay for these young ones? We paid for all these older kids to go to college, almost as if he was expecting the ex-wives to pay for Robin's two little ones to go to college. And so I feel like that's why this whole conversation with David was so staged in that regard, because then Christine starts talking about truly going to college and truly wants to go to college, and she will go to college. And David has a different outlook on that yeah, we might not pay for truly to go to college. And Christine's like, oh yeah, we will. And I personally, no one that I know in polygamy ever pays for their children to go to college. It's just not possible. Most of 99% of the time, you have to get a grant. You have to get a scholarship. So I feel like the Browns used this as a way to gain social media acceptance, acceptance from the world, because they're like, no, look, we're progressive. We want our girls especially to go to college, and we will pay for it. It's just not realistic.
Yeah. In our, and I don't know about the AUB, how everybody did it, but in our family, I had some of the older siblings go to college, and they paid for themselves. Yeah. But most of my younger siblings, we became aware later on in life that because of my dad's VA eligibility, that they could go to college.
Well, I thought that they weren't able to go until he became 100% disabled.
He was. Yeah.
And then 100% of their college was paid for.
So a lot of my younger siblings did go to college on with the VA stuff. But
right.
My older siblings paid for themselves. So,
but most polygamous families we know, either don't go to college, or the parents never pay for that. Now, our daughter did go to college. We paid for her to get her associate's degree, but that's because she got her associate's degree before she graduated high school. Mm-hmm. And so she was able to do that. It was extremely affordable for us to be able to do that for her. And then she got a scholarship to the same college that Leon went to. And so which is one of the more elite colleges here in Utah, and our daughter got a scholarship there. But it's just not practical. You cannot pay for 30 kids to go to college, especially with college expenses the way it is now.
Most polygamists can't do that. The Browns were able to do
And
that.
the Browns,
because of
they were and
the
they
show.
weren't too, because look at that. Remember when Mary ended up paying for Leon's? We haven't seen these episodes yet. We've only seen the little clippets of it, so we're guessing mostly. But they had to go to local colleges so that they could get the discount for being, living in the same city. And so I feel like this was just one way that the Browns really wanted to show the world, look, we are progressive. Look, we are going to pay for our children. It was a way that they were going to be socially accepted by you, the viewers. And so I feel like Christine brought this up during this conversation so that it was kind of like a stab back at Cody. It's like, you want us to pay for Robin's 2 little kids to go to college? What about my little kid? And when that time comes up, I will handle that because it's my responsibility. And it is Cody's responsibility too. Our lights are going out on every single video. We're going to have to fix that. And so, yeah, can we fix it really quick? Have to do some editing. There we go. It's so bright too. But so that's just my thoughts, as I feel like they're using the cameras to kind of take little stabs at each other. All right. Now they're talking about I love the way we flip back over to Madison. She talks about the baby coming and how they call her Millie Billy, and how most nicknames are given with a lot of love. And I love that because that's probably I'm sad for Cody. That's probably the first time he's even heard this granddaughter's name. Probably the first time he's even seen her. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just loving that Janelle and Christine are talking about too, that they're co-grandparenting, and Cody's nowhere to be seen. He's not in his children's lives or even his grandchildren's lives. So,
yeah.
So,
and Janelle says, we had a happy mom, a happy dad, and a happy grandma.
Yep.
Doesn't mention anything about Cody at all.
And he's choosing to not be a part, from my point of view, or from where I'm looking, so that he can spend all the time with Robin and her kids. It's so important for him now to raise their kids and raise them righteously, because he feels like the other kids are a lost cause, and because they're a lost cause, obviously the grandkids are a lost cause too.
And again, it is very common for children to take a step away from a parent in this situation. My dad has never met some of his grandchildren from my siblings. They don't know who he is, and he has no idea who they are. And they want to keep it that way. They don't want my dad in their lives. They don't want him involved because they feel like it's too toxic. Of course, my dad knows all of our children because our children are the oldest. My son is the oldest grandchild. So before my dad and I had our stepping away from each other, he knew all of our children. All right. So then we go back to Robin and Cody and this damn mansion that they're living in. And you live in a $2.2 million house. Cody comes flying through the front door. Robin, oh my gosh, I went and got the, what were they called? Picnic tables. And as she shuts the front door, she's got a damn coat rack right there by the front door. I don't know why that bothered me so bad. It's like, Poppins. I know, but it's like, you live in a damn mansion. Is there not a coat closet? Like, it just looks so, I don't know. A lot of people have coat racks by the front door. I have for years. We don't have one now. But in our previous home, before we built this home, we did have a coat rack right there. But I just think it looks so
Mary Poppins.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Show she's a Mary Poppins type of person. So.
And so she's talking.
Cool.
So she's in the pantry. She's working. There's been a ton.
She said she likes old world stuff, and that's old world stuff. So
to have a
it's
coat
her
rack
decoration. Yeah.
I don't know. I think that is like the craziest, weirdest thing to decorate with is people's coats. Like, I don't know.
Hey,
it's a judgment of mine. Sorry. I like things more clean, more organized. Like all of these shelves up here, they drive me nuts because there's so many little things on them. This is more my style. Just one thing, clean. It's done. A lot less dusting, a lot less whatever. But okay. So she's talking about she's in the pantry, right? And Cody comes running in and he's like, "Hey, we got this offer on Coyote Pass, blah blah blah." And the pantry has been talked about extensively online already. One of the things that I wanted to point out is how gluttonous it is. There is so much food in this pantry that's just opened.
Well,
That's just like, it's not even food storage. It's just opened food, snack foods, that kind of stuff.
well, that's the interesting part. When you saw the original house of the Browns, they had lots of food storage.
Right.
And that they did that. I mean, we have done that even too, where we have extra down in the basement for those times. It's food storage that we dip into if the month is tight and everything.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. And so, I don't know. She's trying to do the same thing, but yeah, it's all
processed
it's all
foods.
snack
It's all
food,
snack
but-
foods. One of the things I was saying to Cory is that, we all saw the episode, or well, we haven't yet, but we've seen the snip. Ask for food, ask Mindy or Robin for food before you get in the fridge. I feel like that is this is a trauma response, because we grew up with very little. We grew up with very little food. We grew up with, like, you were always hungry. I was always hungry. And so I feel like watching Robin's pantry is a trauma response. She wants to make sure that there's always enough snacks and always enough, there's almost to a gluttonous point, because you can't tell me that they're going to eat through 30 bags of chips and almost every single bag is open. And to me, I just feel like that is it's so wasteful. But I do feel like it is somewhat of a trauma. Maybe in Vegas, they weren't at the financial resources that they're at now. She hadn't quite figured out how to embezzle all that money away from the other wives yet. And so she still had to be on a grocery budget, where now she doesn't have to be.
Now you're accusing
Him
God
saying,
of embezzle.
allegedly. She allegedly did that.
God gifted her that because of her righteousness.
Oh my gosh. And so, okay, here we go. We're going to share this little scene.
Yeah. This one blew me away when we were watching it at first, because honestly, I was like, they just moved in and this is what it looks like. Now, this probably could have been months down the road and she hasn't had a nanny in for a while, but
I know. Who's going to clean out this closet for her?
It's hard for me. It's a little sad for me.
Didn't you feel like when we moved here that
Yes, I did. I felt a lot of destiny and God directing us in a different place. Yes, but it's still, because it's the last piece of it, and we are like, finally letting it go. I just am selling it. It feels really, I don't know. It's just, just me and my silly sentimental self. I don't know.
I can empathize with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like just in holding space for you, I'm just like, I get it,
Thanks.
but I'm in a different place. I'm relieved.
Robin's head.
He's learning some big phrases and some big words. He now holds space he's nostalgic and she's sentimental, and he now holds space. I laughed so hard when I saw that scene.
And this part to me was Robin God-splaining. She feels like that she is in touch.
She likes to use destiny a lot.
Yeah, she's in touch with God, and God has blessed her in so many ways. And she is, he kind of was like, this house, it came at the perfect time. It was destiny that we got it. Yes. And God opened up the way for them to get into the house. And she expects that. She explained that in Vegas, that when she was ready to sell the house, it sold very quickly because God was looking out for her. What she doesn't understand is why God is helping Mary and Janelle on selling Coyote Pass. They have broken their covenants with the family and their family's ideals. And so, yes, it's helping her and Cody, but it's almost like they're lucky that they're in this
they're
situation.
riding
They're
Robin's coattails.
Coattails to get into, God wouldn't have moved in such a quick fashion for them if it was it's because of Robin and Cody and their righteousness. And so she's just stunned. And this is the closing of, and she can't control it. Once this happens, there's zero control that she can have over the other women.
And
It's
that's the part right
last
there,
bit of
is she loses
control.
all control over these other women.
Yep.
Well, and I just think it's crazy too, because it's like, yeah, the earnest money check cleared, and it's almost like cue the tears. Here comes the tears. Here comes I just can't let it go. And I think, this is one of the things that really frustrates me about women like Robin in this religion, is because if you listened to her opening statement in the first few seasons, it feels like destiny. Like we all should have been together from day one. And then she uses destiny again in this. There are women who are so close to God that they see meaning in everything. They see, and Cody's like, oh shit, maybe I'm just not that close to God, and I didn't see that. So I'm going to trust her that she sees that. And they use this spiritual attunement to manipulate people around them because, well, God gave me this destiny. And so how do you argue with that? You can't argue with that.
Well, he can argue with Robin, the wife, but he can't argue with Robin, God's mouthpiece, and then he's arguing with God himself.
Right. And where everything has meaning and they're always looking for signs in everything, somebody like Robin, who learns how to manipulate that language, gets whatever she wants because she's manipulated the language in, oh, this feels like destiny. This house that we live in now is destiny. We have to thank God because he had a hand in it every step of the way. And it's just such a huge manipulation tactic that these women use. I've watched it.
Talking about favorite wives?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
most of them are favorite
Yeah.
wives. Yeah, because they are the ones who are the closest to God. They're the ones who are and I feel like this isn't just polygamy that this happens. I see this in every other religion possible. There are women who are just more in tune, and they can use that to manipulate the people around them. And I feel like that's where Robin uses a lot of her manipulation.
Well, and I think it's more of I get frustrated with that just because of the way we grew up, that it's a way for them to state that you need to do something. This is the priesthood leaders too. And that you can't question it.
Right.
If you have a question, you're questioning God. And so even when you know in your gut, and a lot of people who grew up in our community knew in their gut that
That's
some
not
of the
right.
things that they were being told was not right, but they couldn't question the leadership who was saying that that's how it had to be done.
Again, that is a sign of a cult. When you cannot question, when you cannot ask, when you cannot say, that doesn't feel right to me. Well, it's because your God radar is off. You need to go get yourself in alignment. Go get a blessing. Go talk to your priesthood head. Okay. So another thing, I wanted to play this scene right here too.
Pain.
Oh, dang it. I think I went back too far.
All
I
right.
think this is a good spot for it. Coyote passes closure on Flagstaff.
Yeah.
That's the last thing about the separation, the breakup.
This idea where we're selling Coyote Pass is like a tragic manifestation of the failure of many, many, many dreams. I see it now as the final chapter on closing what was my former life. Buying this place was a dream for me and Robin, and I find solace in all that grief. I find solace here in our castle.
Yeah.
God has blessed us so much. So
To me, the smug look on both of their faces when they're like, this was a dream. We find solace in this castle. Again, I feel like we go back to the conversation with Christine and David in the kitchen where she's buying Amazon gifts. She's buying toilet paper or baby diapers. And she's like, I know I'm overspending. I feel like
but she's doing it for the kids.
Exactly. Well, and she's buying diapers. She's not buying a $2.2 million home. And that's where I feel like the smugness on Cody and Robin's face as they're saying that, oh yeah, we find solace in our castle that we've done. And you see both of them just smirking like it.
Well, they're very pleased. It's like they got their celestial kingdom here on earth because of their good deeds. So,
and again, we have
the other wives didn't follow along. They don't get to take, They
don't
don't
get
get
to
to be
participate.
a part of the celestial kingdom that they've now created here on earth. And they are in lesser kingdoms all around.
So do you think they look at it like, oh, we're going to give up our planet, so because we're just going to live in this life, we'll live in this huge house that we...
Yeah, they're going to wait till...
Or to be like, no, we're going to live in a mansion here and in a mansion on our planet.
Yeah, they actually... Well, and here's the thing. They feel like, both of them feel like that they honored their covenant, and so the Lord will, because they honored their covenant, the Lord will let them into their celestial kingdom at the end. And then they will have a choice to be gracious and let the other wives come in if they choose, or say, no, sorry, you chose poorly on earth, so
Right.
we're just going to have this kingdom up here in heaven all by ourselves. So
this is going to be the longest recap. We're only
sorry.
like halfway. No, yeah. I love it, because we're like halfway through and we're 45 minutes in already. So yeah, there we go. So now, but the way you said that, it's a tragic manifestation of our many, many, many failures. I'm like, yeah, he's one of the biggest polygamous failures I've ever seen. I know men who have lost a lot more wives than what Cody has done, but he just did it epically. Like, he would just like, I'm going to go for a high score.
Cameras,
yeah. Yeah. And so, I just think it's really funny the way he did it. Oh,
and I feel like too, that he actually kind of feels almost excited that he is done. Once he gets done with the Coyote Pass, he doesn't have to deal with the wives. I feel the ex-wives actually feel the exact same way.
Yeah.
And he's okay with it. Robin's just holding that against him, playing up this, that she had such a dream, but she's holding that against him so she can use it on later on down the road.
Oh, I totally agree. And then we go to Mary at her bed and breakfast, and she's talking about, if anyone knows who her friend Amber is, or Amber, if you watch our show, I've been trying to place her family. It's driving me nuts. I can't figure out who her family is. But she's talking, I know it's
Melanie knows everybody.
I know. I feel like I do, but I cannot place who her, I was asking my mom the other day about it, and I can't place who she is. So Mary's talking about how she's packed up. She's ready to go to, so Amber moves in with Mary into the bed and breakfast, and Mary's packing up to go back to Flagstaff. Now, obviously this is just so that they can film. That's the only reason that, Mary's going back there. They all could have e-signed this. They all could have docu-signed it. There's no reason. Or
just go to the title company and signed it. And...
They never had to see each other. They never had to do anything like that. This is only just for the cameras. And of course, like, TLC is going to make them do this, because this is something that they're going to have to film, because it's been such a huge part of the show for the last several years. Yeah.
But most divorce couples would just go sign individually on their own and then get a notification. So.
Right. There is no reason that they all have to go see each other. So let's go here and show you this little clip here.
Has finally sold. It is done. Holy freaking hairballs. So I'm going to Flagstaff, and we're going to meet at the property. I'll be seeing Janelle and Cody and Robin, I think. Unless there's something that I don't know. The property is divided equally into our names and has been sold. And so it's kind of like the, final peace out, bitches. I don't even know. I had been in communication with Justin, the real estate agent. That's how I found out that the sale actually was going through.
How do you feel about seeing Robin after?
I feel like that peace out bitches was to Cody.
I loved it when she said that, because we haven't seen too much swear words or anything from these people. I would rather hear peace out bitches than more kisses, please. Blah, 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 blah. That's just not me. Like, I just don't want to watch Cody beg Robin to pay attention to him and then be kind of creepy about it. I would way rather hear vulgarity. Well, Cody doing that is very vulgar. But Mary saying peace out bitches, I loved that for her. I love that she's finding more of a voice. Okay, and then I want to show you this little clip here too. Let's see. Mary's talking about how the property was divided and how that was kind of becoming an issue. between everybody is how the property was going to be divided. Now, I think it was in season 19 something where they all brought in their portion to pay off Coyote Pass. So it made it sound, and it could have been editing, but it made it sound like they each put in a last equal share to pay off Coyote Pass. So let's go here.
Divided. I think the issue was getting our names put on the appropriate pieces of properties.
Equal.
I mean, there was a lot of conversation surrounding that, and I don't know why it couldn't just be signed on. I just stood my ground, and I don't think that she liked it, but whatever.
Well, people that benefited off of you not growing usually don't like it when you grow. So.
Whoops.
Well, yeah.
I wanted to play
Mary
this
and I
last
have
part.
always been able to talk pretty frankly with each other. I was really just trying to find out what she needed. And it really, like, my intention was always in her best interest.
And
Somehow I really don't believe that.
And that's because Mary is asking for an equal share, and Robin wants to be fair with Mary, which in Robin's mind, that is not an equal share. Fair is different than equal. And so, and that Robin has the best interest of Mary in mind?
Absolutely not.
I do not think that has ever been the case. I mean, the only time that she plays like that she's looking out for Mary's best interest is when it benefits her in some way. So
right. And it benefited them to sell the property now because of their new property, whatever it is they're buying, or their $2.2 million mansion. And so it benefits them to sell Coyote Pass now. That's the only reason. So, I have a theory that I'm going to present now, and then I'll back it up with multiple clips as we go throughout here. But for those of you that don't know, my mom is suing my dad now for her home, her 25% of the property that they own. And so in Mary's saying, wait a minute, we just all needed to put our names on title. That's it. It could have been that simple. Where did we have so many conversations around this? Well, last season, Mary was saying, why is this fair that you get 4 acres, you get 4 acres, Janelle gets 4 acres, and I get 2 acres? That's not equal. And again, Robin and Cody come back, well, that's what's fair, because you only have one child, the rest of us have multiple children. That's what's fair. And so Mary's over here like, yeah, no, I put in just as much money as the rest of you put in. And again, this goes back to what Christine was saying in the kitchen with David. We all put in the same amount, but we all didn't get back the same because that wouldn't be fair. So, but Cody and Robin don't want to be equitable with Christine or with Mary. They don't want what's equal. They want what they believe is fair, not what Mary believes is fair, not what Janelle believes is fair, and not what Christine thinks is fair. And so my theory is Mary hired herself a pretty damn good attorney, and he went and told her, go put a cloud on this title. Now, we're both in real estate. What a cloud on title is you put some sort of encumbrance on this property, and the property cannot be sold. It cannot be transferred. Nothing can be done to this property until the cloud is lifted. Exactly. And so I think Mary hired herself a pretty damn good attorney and told her, go put a cloud on these, because Mary is walking through this whole episode very confident. Robin called me and she didn't like the way our last conversation went. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't have to listen to you talk about this. Call my attorney. And so Mary and Cody and Janelle all go in January of 2024. They all go in, they sign a document stating, let's all be on we're all 4 equal owners. We're not fair owners. We're equal owners. And then Robin decides, nope, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to sign that. So she doesn't end up signing her portion of it till the end of March. And then the property sells in April. Well, Cody says here at the beginning that they had a verbal offer on this property for a long time, but they were just trying to work out ownership of this property. And Robin's over here like,
Get the title cleaned up.
And Robin's over here like, I am not giving Mary an equal portion. I will give Mary what's fair, but I won't give her equal. What do you say?
This allegedly.
This is my theory. This is 100% my theory as I've watched my mom go through her transition with my dad. And because I've seen the backside of that, my theory is that it applies here to the Browns as well. And so Cody was like, okay, great. Let's do what's equal then. Let's put all 4 of our names on all 4 parcels. That would be fair, or that would be equitable.
Yeah, let's do the equal part, but you have to sign an NDA so that you can't discuss all of the negotiations that were going on.
And Robin's throwing her little tantrum because Mary refuses to sign an NDA, and Robin refuses to give Mary what's equitable. She only wants to give Mary what's fair. And so now an NDA gets thrown in here somewhere going, we don't want Mary to be able to talk about the fact that Robin was going to undermine and undercut Mary. So now you've got this verbal offer going on somewhere in the background. They don't have a written offer until the beginning of April because they have to get ownership decided. And ownership has to be decided before an offer can come in. Because accepted. And there is no way that this property can get sold without, especially if Mary has put a cloud on title. I'm going to bet Mary's attorney said, go do this. And Janelle's attorney probably said, go do this, because these women had way too much confidence. Mary was not worried about Cody selling that property out from under her because he legally could not do it. There's not a chance anywhere that he could have legally done it unless he went in and had a court order with a judge that the judge said, yes, here you go. You can sell this. And even still, Mary still would have had to sign that in order for her to do it.
But if he
did, this one lights me up because I'm watching my parents go through it.
If he did, they and sold it, that money most likely would have been put into some sort of funds that nobody could touch until there was an agreement on how it was separated.
It would have gone into a non-interest bearing account held by the title company, and even still that still, I don't think that even still that could happen. And the reason why is because personal property rights are so important. They're in the Constitution. They're in the First Amendment, or first, what am I trying to say? The First Amendment for a reason. That's why they are. A judge is not just going to say, sell it. Let's put all the money in there and then we'll decide. That's probably not going to happen either. And so this was really, as I was watching all of this happen and unfold, I'm like, okay, Mary's way too confident. And if that cloud of title would have prevented any of them, Robin would have had to have gone in and finally agreed to something, which she did at the end of March. When she's like, fine, I'll be the big fat rock in the road that's going to cause, I'll be until this is fair.
Making it sound like she was protecting
Mary. No, she was protecting her own interest because she didn't want what was equitable. And if you listen to the way Robin chooses her words, she chooses them very carefully. And the difference between fair and equitable are 2 totally different things to this woman. They're 2 totally different things to Cody. And so you'll hear Robin say, I'm just not going to do it until everything is fair. But then you hear Mary say, no, this needs to be equitable. This is something that we all put our money into. And so once again, you are now having a property worth over $1 million that if they're all, just like Christine said at the beginning of this episode, they all put the same amount in, which was equitable. They all equally put the same amount in, but Cody got to decide what was fair about who took what out. And that's where Robin wanted more control over Coyote Pass. She was like, no, I want this control over who gets to take what out of, we all put the same amount into Coyote Pass, but I want to say who can take what out of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And usually in these kind of situations within the AUB or polygamous group, usually it gets to the point where the wives or one party is just like, you know what, I just want this to be done. So
and that's what they hope, is that they wear you out.
Yeah. And these guys hired lawyers, which made it so that they had to do what was equal and instead of fair.
And a cloud on title is not necessarily going to show up on public record. if the way that Christine or the way that Mary would have had to put this cloud on title, it isn't necessarily going to show up on public record. It's not going to show that title transferred. It's not going to show that, oh, hey, a cloud on title literally could just be, or an encumbrance. It's called a cloud or an encumbrance on title. Can just be, it's like a little padlock that has to be removed before that deed can transfer to another person.
Everybody's come to an agreement.
Exactly.
So,
and the person who filed that, not everybody can just go throw a cloud on title. Like you have to have a reason to be able to throw a cloud on title. It's not like you can just look at your neighbor's house and go, oh, I think I want that house. I'm going to go throw an encumbrance on that property. It's not that easy. You have to be able to do it. So that's my theory. And as we continue going through the rest of this, I'm going to show why I still believe that that is the case. And then Mary agreed to release that cloud on title, and Janelle probably agreed to release her cloud on title once they all agreed that all 4 of their names were put equally on all 4 pieces of property. Okay, so then we go to dinner with Cody and Robin, and they're talking to the kids, and they're talking about how they're going to sell Coyote Pass. And we actually get a bonus scene on this one. And they're talking about Ari's over here eating her mac and cheese, and the way that Robin tries to control her children's reactions to things is mind-blowing. You can see that she's doing it as a mother. Imagine what she was doing as a sister wife or as a wife. I mean, I wonder if Cody even notices that.
Stepmom.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, hey, we have earnest money on the property. Oh yeah, or a stepmom. We have earnest money on the property, and Ari's like, is that it? Okay, you're selling Coyote Pass. Okay, and Aurora in the bonus scene even says, well, I'm kind of disassociated from this because we haven't been to Coyote Pass in a really long time, so I'm really disassociated emotionally from it. I don't really care, but I feel like Cody and Robin are trying to make this a bigger emotional disconnect for these kids than actually needs to be. They don't really care. They live in a $2.2 million mansion on 2.5 acres. They don't give a shit if Coyote Pass sells or if it doesn't sell. And so I love the way that Ari just responds to this, because I feel like it gives, and Robin sternly says, Ari, did you hear what was just said? And she's like, oh shit, was my reaction wrong?
Yeah.
And then she questions herself.
She does that with Cody too. Did you just
track what I just said to you?
So, yep.
Here. And so which one did you have?
Well, I don't know where it is. We're just going past it, but Cody was reminiscing that he doesn't understand why this all fell apart. It felt like that they were bonded, united,
in Vegas,
going down to Vegas, but he doesn't understand why everything changed when they went to Flagstaff. And I'm like, the dude is still clueless, or he's just playing dumb.
Yeah.
That the other wives felt duped. Hey, we need to sell this and go to Flagstaff. And then they find out, oh, this could have been manipulation on Robin's part so that they all moved, because she took all of her kids and was following Dayton.
Mm-hmm.
And
and when the wives found that out, they felt
leaving some of their children behind, and they thought that this was, I don't know, it's manipulation. And so he's sitting there going, I don't know why it fell apart. He should know.
Because you manipulated your entire family into following.
Why it fell apart. And then he's trying to build this dream of Coyote Pass. And by that time, they were all done, not only with the move, but eventually got done with Coyote Pass, and they just want to get rid of any connections with him and Robin. So
right.
That's why it fell apart, buddy.
Right.
So you should have probably been honest with your other wives. So, and
just said, hey, you know what? Dayton wants to go to college here. We all have to move here. Yeah. So the minute
Robin wants to move there.
Yeah. Robin wants to move there. And again, this is very common too. I think part of the reason that happened is because Robin's family was split up. when they lived up in Montana, the dad, her stepdad, Paul lived down, I think, in Vegas or something. So they had a wife who lived in Montana and a wife who lived in Vegas, and then also a wife. And then Robin's mom moved down to, I believe, St. George or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is very common for wives to live in multiple places. My ex-husband, his dad had a wife in Montana, a wife in Utah, and a wife in Mexico. And so with Robin growing up that way, she probably had some trauma around that. Like, well, wait a second, we only get to see, even still, I don't know, did Robert Mark live in Pine still with his second wife? Because Robin's mom was the first wife.
Yeah, I don't know where they lived.
Yeah. And so
I think they did for a little bit. But.
Yeah. And so when they lived up there in Pinestyle down the street from Cory, until next door to Paul Sullivan's first wife. And that's how Paul Sullivan's first wife and Robin's mom became good friends.
2 trailers down.
2 trailers down. Sorry, it's a small trailer court. And so there could vary. And so Robin might have some trauma around that, about wives living in different spaces. So let's concoct a plan to manipulate everybody into moving with us so that I don't have to be the one wife who lives away from the other wives, or I don't have to be, so she did grow up with that scenario. And that's just hypothetical on my end. I'm just saying she very easily could have had some trauma. So instead of just presenting the facts to these wives, hey, my kid wants to go to school in Arizona, we need to move there. She just manipulated it so that everybody would move out of this wonderful cul-de-sac that they built, so that she didn't have to experience the trauma again of her now married family living in different states like her growing up family did. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah.
Was that too much? Was that a lot?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know her mentality behind it. I think he was wanting to follow. Robin probably said, hey, I'm moving out there to be close. He wanted to follow. So let's
just make everyone do it.
Yeah. Kind of threw the idea of, hey, you'll all get a piece of property. And then he's like, on top of that, well, let's just do the big house thing again. And they're all like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Okay, fine. You're breaking my heart, but let's do the big property with homes on a property instead of in a cul-de-sac.
Because they paid a stupid amount of money, didn't he, to have plans drawn up for a big home on Coyote Pass.
Yep.
All right.
Surprise the wives.
Another example of how these guys, I think, are using the cameras to take stabs at each other. When polygamous men have multiple wives, they tend to pit the wives against each other. Well, when the wives leave and he can no longer control the wives, he's going to say it on TV.
Or when the wives start to talk to each other.
Yeah, when the wives start to communicate and say, wait a second, he told me this. What did he tell you? He told me, and so this is an example where Cody is talking about Mary and the nemesis that he has with Jen, because Jen's trying to talk. And how he found out was because Janelle told him. And so
he's still trying to pit them.
That Jen encouraged Mary to leave. I think Jen, way back in Vegas, because she told Janelle that she thought Mary should empty our bank account and run away.
So, you gonna hug anybody?
Yeah. So.
He does that several times throughout this whole episode where he's like, Janelle told me one thing,
Well, he's trying to pit them together because they've come together as allies against him and Robin. And so he's using his old techniques and they're wise to it. Mm-hmm. And so I liked that at the end, Mary said that, Janelle was my ally in this. Mm-hmm. We're not friends, but she was my ally in this. And this is kind of the first time that they both have had to come together really to, to verify the bullshit that Cody's given to each one of them.
So, and especially when wives don't have a close relationship like Mary and Janelle, Cody's banking on that fact that they don't have a close relationship, that they're not going to communicate with each other, and that they're not going to check and balance him. And so he can say one thing to Mary, say something to Janelle. Oh my gosh, when I watch this happen, it frustrates the hell out of me when I watch these sister wives. It's like, just put your grievances with each other aside and do some checks and balances on your husband, because you would find out that you don't hate each other as much as he wants you to believe that you hate each other.
Well, they're both very headstrong women, and if they unite against him, he is in trouble. And that scares the hell out of him.
Well, and they did unite against him, and that's why they got 50% of the property.
Exactly.
Their equitable 25% is because they did unite. If they hadn't have united, who knows what would have happened with that property.
Mary would have got 2 acres. So
Mary would have got 2 acres. That's exactly what. And so then we switched to Mary and her friend Amber talking, and just the way Mary talks throughout this whole episode, she just has so much confidence. She has where Cody calls her and she's like, we haven't had communication in over a year about Coyote Pass. And now all of a sudden he's calling me saying, we need to get this thing sold, and we need to get it sold right away, and we need to get all this worked out. And she's over here like, yeah. And he goes, and you need to do this, 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 and this. And she's like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
Not your wife anymore.
I'm not your wife anymore. You don't get to tell me what to do, buddy. And so I think that's another reason why I think Mary put a cloud on title, and then she held all the cards at that point. Once you put that cloud on title, she can tell Cody, go suck it. I'm not doing what you're telling me that I have to go do, and I don't have to, and you can't sell the property without me anyways. And so that's another reason I think Mary's just way too confident through this whole episode, because she's like, yeah, no, we're not doing it that way. What we're going to say?
Well, they were just talking about could have sold it out from under her, could have forced the thing. And so, yeah. So
she couldn't have sold it out from her, and they couldn't have forced it.
I think that she had hired a great lawyer, that she felt very confident in his stand on what they could and couldn't do.
Right. Right. And so, then we get back over to Janelle, and Janelle is going into Flagstaff to sign the paperwork, whatever. She's meeting up at a bar with her friends, and she's lost her voice. And we talk about this all the time. It's a physical manifestation. We talk about body language. We talk about how our body, a lot of people in the comments have said, your body keeps the score. I think that this is extremely true. These women, we have been silenced our entire lives, not being able to speak out about things. And
now she just doesn't even want to talk to them.
Now she's physically manifesting that she can't even speak out. She can't even say what she wants to say to Cody. So she starts talking with her friends. She's like, I'm not even sick. I just can't even speak. I don't know what's going on. And that's what she said. Maybe I don't even have to speak to him, or maybe I just don't want to speak to him, so my body's not letting me speak. She then goes on to say that they're talking about Robin never sees the bad in Cody. And Janelle goes, no, I think they're pretty equally yoked. He doesn't see the bad in her either. He chooses not to see it.
Any of the manipulations that Robin has been doing. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right. And so
they're both equally yoked in that but I think that Robin knows what she's doing. She's telling us every episode how frustrated she is with Cody because of this or because of that, pointing out all of his flaws. So Robin can see it, but Cody can't, refuses to see any manipulation on Robin's part. So
right. And so I just think
everybody else can see it. Well, I can see it, and then most of you guys can see it too. So
right. And I just think Cody just chooses to, again, he chooses to ignore a lot of it. Then they start talking about her Farmers Only page, how she wants to, she just like, why would I do that to myself? My life is so great right now. I make my own decisions. I make my own choices. When people come out of this religion, again, could be other religions too. They feel so controlled and so manipulated and so bossed around, basically. And why go get into that again? Why would you want to go get into that? Why are you smirking?
Because I've got
bossed around.
No, because it is true.
It is.
My dad passed on, and I've got 3 mothers that refuse to remarry. They're definitely not going to remarry into the AUB group, and they are. It feels like that they.
Well, one mother's pretty young.
Yeah, but they're not they're not even interested in finding another man. So
Yeah.
they're just, okay, now it's time to be free to choose for ourselves what we want to do. So it's interesting that I have 3 mothers that, not one of them, my dad's been gone 9 years.
10 years?
Yeah, 10 years. And not one of them have wanted to get remarried again. And they've been encouraged by the AUB membership that they should marry somebody in there.
Well, some worthy man that can get them into heaven.
So,
and even your one other mother, she was pretty young when your dad passed. I think she was in her mid-50s, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Maybe early 60s?
60s, yeah.
Early. If it was like late 50s, early 60s when your dad passed. So she could definitely have gotten remarried if she chose to, but why go through that? It feels like a crapshoot if you're going to get somebody who's going to boss you around,
especially dealing with men within the AUB.
Right.
So.
Right. Why put yourself through that? And who wants to start over at that point in your life? Like, who wants to go get another round of sister wives that you just have to learn how to freaking survive with? Like, why would you do that to yourself? It would be horrible. All right. I wanted to play this scene, which I feel like is such a profound statement right here made by Janelle.
Okay.
Meaning she's just as much as he is.
They feed each other's ego.
I think so.
Okay.
Sometimes you get power by giving power. When you're
no, keep playing.
Oh, sorry.
Helpless person that needs to be rescued all the time.
And he wants to be the hero. He is tying on his cape and he's going in.
Riding on that white horse.
Right.
I just want to go out and be like, cheers, it's done. See ya. Have a nice life.
Be well, but don't be too well.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that statement when she says, yeah, they feed each other's egos. They know what to say, give a little power to get a lot of power. We mentioned this.
She's done that perfectly.
So. We mentioned this in our little drunk video that we made. There's a book out there called The 48 Laws of Power that we have both read. And that book enraged me. And it's such a great book. We highly recommend it. But it enraged me because so many of the things that go on in there are ways that we were treated growing up, our manipulations that we experienced growing up. And this is how the men control their women, 48 laws of power. And one of the laws of power is you give a little bit of power to gain a lot more power later. And I feel like this is where Robin has mastered this. And Janelle calls it out the way that it is because she plays the damsel in distress. I need help. I need this. I need that. I can't do it on my own. All of the wives have said this in several previews that we've seen throughout, like, really, she can't change a light bulb by herself or whatever. They have pinned Robin as being helpless. And again, this is
Cody has.
No, the wives have too. Like Christine did too, where she's like, I just don't understand. And Janelle has said it multiple times where she's like, I just don't understand this. But this is such a great manipulation tactic. Oh, dang it. I lost my train of thought on that.
No, I was just going to say that Cody, probably from my point of view, used that so he could spend more time with her. And he expected if the other wives asked for something, he's like, no, you can handle that.
Go to your sister wife. Ask your sister wife for help.
They were moving things. They were putting things together without his help.
Right. Where Robin wanted him to be a part of that. But part of Robin, when they first got together, said, I want you to be a part of these things. And so she gave up a little bit of power to gain a lot more power with Cody being at her home all the time.
She gave up a whole room for him to have an office. So
right. And what frustrates me about this statement the most is the fact that in polygamy, we are literally taught you are nothing without your husband. Nothing. You will equate to absolutely nothing. You have to have your husband. You cannot get into heaven on your own. You cannot be with your children in the afterlife. You can't get your children into heaven. You are literally nothing without that man. Then on the flip side, we are taught that you have to survive without him. You have to figure out how to do everything on your own. You have to figure out how to change those light bulbs. You have to figure out how to change your own spare tires. You have to do all of these things because you can't be codependent on your husband because he's got other responsibilities, other wives, other children, other You can't be calling him to your house every 2 minutes if he needs something. And so we're taught these contradictory teachings, right? But some women like Robin have mastered that give a little bit of power to get a lot of power. I can't do this car tire by myself. Will you please come and help me? I can't change this light bulb by myself. Will you please come and help me? And all while knowing that all by knowing and being taught her entire life that she shouldn't be doing those things because you have to learn to survive without your husband, all while knowing you are nothing without your husband. It's such a contradictory statement. Again, that is why I think that statement is so powerful. What Janelle said, give a little power to get a lot of power. It's a manipulation tactic. It's, again, 48 laws of power. This is how you gain control and power over other people. Robin is a master at it already. This woman, I did not give her enough credit for just what a great manipulator she is. Like, she is amazing. Her skills are top notch.
I gave her all the credit.
Right, I know you did. I didn't.
Yeah. No. Based on AUB teachings too, this you've been living on your own and doing it all by taking care of everything for 25 years, but you will need that first husband of yours to get
I know, right?
through the gates of into heaven. So shout out to him. He's probably still waiting there to get you into heaven.
Right.
So based on their teachings.
So
I'm a sinner. I can't do that.
Well, our video's starting to go long, so I was going to start skipping stuff. But one of these, I still have 2 pages. So then we flip over to Cody and Robin. She's talking about the wrestling match. I only want to say this because it's funny, but we're going to skip past showing you the little clip on it. Is that, Cody's like saving these wrestling mats, and he talks about his nostalgia all the time and how nostalgic he is. And I mean, I just think these are gross. Like, he's literally on his hands and knees cleaning them with vinegar. And then he's in the bonus scene, he talks about how porous they might be and how they might collect sweat and whatever. And
testosterone.
Yeah, but it's not a bad smell, right? So on our drunken video, that's one of the things we talked about. The man is nostalgic and he wants these mats where he has pinned other men down so that he can have that memory of, if he's got to go be married to women, he might as well have the memory of a mat, of being able to pin a man down on a mat. And so, I just thought that was hilarious. Okay, so now we are
making fun of him.
I am making fun of him. I'm sorry. There you go. Now I'm going to show you a couple clips of why I think my theory is very correct and Mary had clouds on title. So here we go.
The actual figuring stuff out with the land should have been simple.
Before Coyote Pass sold, we got a written offer, but we were still in the middle of the paperwork to reassign all the property to make the 4 of us equal owners. The paperwork took a long time because we couldn't agree. There was too much to agree on, and we were going back and forth through lawyers. That slowed it down significantly.
He's putting the whole thing on me that I slowed it down, that I'm the problem. But it had to do with the fact that they were trying to get me to sign a confidentiality agreement that I was not willing to agree to.
Yep.
And I love that Mary wouldn't do that. Again, they had a verbal offer on the property. They couldn't put the offer in writing until they knew who to put the offer in writing for. And if they're still going back and forth of putting names on the title, then you can't write up an offer for a Cody Brown if Mary, Janelle, and Robin are all on the property too. You have to write up a full offer with Cody, Mary, Robin, and Janelle. So they might have had this verbal going back and forth, but until all of that was done, then they couldn't write up a written offer. And so you have Mary, Janelle, and Cody, who all went in January and signed, said, here we go. And then you have Robin, who didn't do it until the end of May, or the end of March. I'm sorry. So she did it at the end of March. Then they received their written offer at the 1st of April, and then closed at the end of April.
Well, and they definitely probably want the NDA so that they can't talk about the discussions of Robin trying to be too fair with Mary and not equal. So
right. Right. And that's where Robin's like, I don't want Mary slandering me because I'm over here wanting what's fair. But I do love that Cody finally said right there that we are trying to put our names on titles to have equitable ownership of the property. But Robin's over here like, I'm not doing that. Sorry. I have 5 kids. Mary's only got 1. I've got 5. Tell me why she should get the same amount of property that I got when I have 5 kids to divide that from and Mary's only got 1. And so that's the conversations that I could see happening. This is all alleged. This is just my opinion. I could be totally wrong. But Cody has said multiple times that he is safely keeping Robin. So why everyone already hates him too? Why wouldn't he take this bullet for Robin? But he went in January and signed.
Yeah, unfortunately signed with the other.
So women, that kind of gives it away that Robin is the one who is holding all of these things up. And again, when he says he could backdoor it with maybe.
Well, I think he was saying that too, to show distrust. Hey, he's been, that's the second time that he's kind of thrown Janelle under the bus of, yeah, I was doing a backdoor deal with Janelle. See, you shouldn't have trusted her, Mary. But Mary's like, she was the only one that was an ally.
Right.
In this, making sure I got a fair share.
Well, and she shows that at the end when they start to hug. Okay, here's one more scene right here.
Agreement. Why are you trying to silence me?
After we took the offer, Janelle was worried about losing the buyer. And so Janelle's like pushing me to either comply complete with what Mary's wishes were or force the sell. I got in this place where I was like, backdoor deal almost with Janelle. Hey, we'll just sell it out from under these other 2. Because Robin was like, we are not going to mess them over. Like, no, we should mess them over. And this is why I was a terrible polygamist, because I can like just sit down and shut up. I couldn't ever do that. I couldn't ever just do that with these wives and just manage it.
So much in that one little clip.
Well, and I think the reason that and then Janelle goes on later to say, yeah, he could have done this. And again, if Janelle was encouraging him, if he could have done that, it's because he's going to, as he puts it so eloquently, screw over Robin, and that would have ended the marriage with Robin too. So Janelle's like, I double dog dare you. You wouldn't do that. Cody's like, no.
I don't think Janelle ever had a backdoor deal with Cody.
It's just Cody trying to throw shade at the 2 wives so that they're not coming together in unison against him. So
right. And that's the whole thing is when he says she was worried about losing the buyers. The way that they make it sound here, they had this verbal offer for months before they received the written offer. And again, it could just be editing from what we're seeing. But what we're seeing in the editing, it sounds like they had this buyer for quite a while. And why would he have to comply with Mary's wishes? Mm-hmm. If Mary hadn't put a cloud on title, Mary would be inconsequential because she only had her name on 1 property. And so she would be inconsequential. So she had to have put cloud on title. And that's why they had to comply. And Robin was the only one not complying. And so Janelle is concerned, just like Mary was concerned, just like Robin was concerned. But for some reason, Cody only says Janelle was concerned because he wants to pit his wives against each other again, which it doesn't necessarily mean Janelle was the only one concerned. Let's backdoor this. You cannot do that. In real estate, you cannot sell the property out from other people. You just can't do it, especially if there is a cloud on title. So this is, in my opinion, why things got dragged out, and that they only received a written offer from this buyer after, and I'll bet it got pushed all the way down to it where the buyer was like ready to walk away. And Robin was stuck making a choice. Either do I keep fighting this out or do I just go with it and call it a day? And I'll bet that's why she didn't sign until the end of March, is because she knew that buyer was ready to walk and she had to cave and she had to go in and sign it. And then once she signed it and all 4 of them were equitably put on each piece of property, then they got a written offer.
Yep.
And so
that they all agreed to.
Right.
So
And now let's go to the last part of that clip. I didn't mean to show the whole thing because I was going to go back to it, but Cody yelling, I could never just yell at because I couldn't just manage a situation. This is how polygamous men justify lying, scheming, manipulating, and right out duping their wives, because that's managing them. It's managing the situation. And so he doesn't look at it as, he can't just scream and yell at them, which some polygamists do. He can't just beat them, which some polygamists do. So he tries to manage them.
Because he's on TV.
Because he's on TV. Yeah. Those that aren't on TV, there could be screaming and yelling. There could be beating, and there has been a lot. But he can't do that because he's a public figure. So he's going to lie, cheat, steal, manipulate, and dupe these women because he's managing the situation. And the fact that he gets so irate and just wants to scream at them, because he's not going to do that to Robin. He's not going to be like, Robin, go in and sign this piece of paper for God's sakes. Just let everybody have 4 acres each. Let whatever, because there was 14 acres, almost 15 acres divided by 4, whatever that is. And so he can't just scream and yell at Robin. That's the end of that marriage. And so he's got to figure out how to dupe, manipulate, and coerce Mary and Janelle. And meanwhile, he looks like such a jackass doing this. There's got to be an NDA because he doesn't want Mary talking about it. He doesn't want Janelle talking about the fact that Robin really was the one who held up all of these things. And again, because of the way that personal property rights work, they cannot sell this property out from under any of these. Everybody who is on whatever piece of property has to be on, they have to sign off on it unless a judge court orders it. That's the only way that could have happened. As far as I know, there was never a court order. But it just infuriated me when I watched him scream at that, because I have seen one too many times. I have seen one too many polygamous men literally sit their wives down and scream at them, telling them that they have to comply.
I'm the leader. Right.
And so if Mary did, that episode that we saw a couple seasons ago, I think it was last season, where they all came in with their last check to pay off Coyote Pass. Why would Mary put in the same amount as Cody and Robin and the same amount as Janelle, only to turn around and get only 2 acres when they all get 4? All right. Did you have anything else you wanted to say with that one?
No.
I know. Sorry, this is going so long.
Yep.
Okay. Now I feel like we're going to get a real look at how Robin Brown actually is in this scene. I think she just looks disgusting in this scene.
No, you're starting to
Effort that was put into the relationship.
Who she actually is. So
yeah,
what she's been trying to be sweet, that good sister wife, all that stuff.
It makes
sometimes
me angry. Maybe if you had taken all that energy and put it into actually working out the relationships, we might not be in this mess. But let's just keep going and trying to hurt each other. Cool. I just don't think
that's her mom. She's a duplicate. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy to me. That scene right there felt really crazy to me because, yeah, sometimes the real you is going to slip out again. And I feel like she has.
That's who I remember. So.
Yeah. And then she talks about they don't realize how many years this damage is going to be done. I wonder if we should call Preston Jessup's family and see how much damage has been done there. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't think this woman realizes the damage that she has done to other families that way too. Especially coming from a divorce situation, she's got to understand to some degree with what these girls, what these other wives are going to go through.
And she cares, as long as he's there helping raise their children and having their cute little family.
She doesn't care what she does to the other wives. The only thing that she cares is this is going to take a long time to go through. Yeah.
For TV.
She expected to walk away with $1 million instead of just $800,000. That's going to affect them for years.
She thought she was going to come on to Sister Wives and be America's sweetheart. And all of a sudden she's America's villain, and that disturbs her.
It really does.
Especially how righteous she is. So
it really does. Okay. So I love this. This is, again, this scene right here is exactly why I don't feel like Janelle had a backdoor deal with Cody in any way. I feel like she had Mary's best interest at heart the entire time. This right here.
Good. I'm so glad this is finally done. I'm so glad it's finally done.
I think if I hadn't been fighting for it and then Mary hadn't been fighting for it, I think we'd still be sitting here like with Cody Brown thinking that someday he could just sell it and take what he was entitled to and we would get whatever.
I'm really glad we made the investment. It ended up to be an
Keep going.
Oh, keep going.
investment that saved us. You and I, at least, we got a piece of the a little bit of the piece of the financial picture. But
while Janelle and I are not best friends, I feel like at least I have an ally to fight for my part of the property. I mean, it's been nice to know that she's kind of fighting the same fight with me.
Yep.
And
Finally,
Cody,
they're united
Yeah.
against their tormentor for years. So.
and Cody's been used to controlling and managing a situation by making these women hate each other. And now he no longer has that control over them. He just doesn't. And the fact, and he probably in his mind, he's thinking they are never going to talk to each other outside of what they're all doing. So he was probably not even worried that these two would get together behind the scenes and talk to each other. To him, that was never even a concern. And he's probably seeing on TV for the first time that they actually did work together and become an ally together. Okay, so this is the last. Whoops.
The last one that's the best.
Yeah.
Because you know that Mary has basically, she's done. She's become the heathen because she's mocking them about praying in their car.
All right, let's see here.
Because I was mocking them the same way. Like,
Cody and I just pulled up, and Mary and Janelle are sitting in their cars, and I'm like, okay. It was a message. The message was, you don't need to interact.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if we're waiting for something. I just want to go home. I want to go back to my hotel and get on some sweats and sit and watch TV or whatever, just something.
Are you having a prayer? Please, Lord, pray for peace because I have to go see my exes.
I love that part. I love Mary's just like trying to make, I mean, these women have a ton of healing to do. Absolutely, they do. But I love that Mary can find humor in a lot of what's happening.
well, and I think they're healing a lot better than Cody and Robin are. Yeah. What is that? What did she say that there was a message? We don't have to interact. Yeah, it's the same message you've been giving them for the last 10 years. You know what I mean? I don't have to interact with you. I'm interacting with Cody.
I'm interacting with my nanny. I'm interacting with, I don't need to be friends.
Well, yeah, they're sending the same message back. No, we got your message, Robin. We don't want to interact with you. Thank you. And this is the final tie that they ever have to interact with her.
Yeah, they don't need to be friends with her. Well, and Cody even says that to prove that point, they're in the garage. Cody's cleaning the mats and he's like, "Are you excited to go see your friends tomorrow at Coyote Pass?" And she's like, "My friends? What are you talking about?" And so she knows that they're not friends, but then for the camera, now she's got to be like, "Oh, it was a message." Not everything's a message. Not everything's about you. It's cold outside, sweetheart. They're freezing. And tell me why they would want to get out of their cars to interact with somebody who has treated them the way that Robin has treated them for 15 years. Not everything is a message for, but again, when you're Robin Brown and you are close to God, you have to look for signs and messages in everything. And so then we end the episode with next preview of next week. And I think what's funny is that Cody says on that, Robin hates girl games. These girls sitting in their car I just think, I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you shitting me, man? Like, she is the inventor and primary giver of girl games. These other girls at least go to each other and speak to each other. Robin, I don't know. She is the queen of girl games.
Yeah, but she hates playing girl games when she's getting
Schooled at him.
Yeah, when she's losing with everything, all of a sudden these wives didn't have to play nice because they're no longer being shamed by
Right.
Cody to, you have to be a good sister wife. You're playing too rough with Robin. Now they don't care. Now
Play
they
nice.
can play.
She can't handle it.
School. She hates games where it's on an equal.
She wants to play girl games when they don't know they're getting played.
When Cody can sit there and regulate how mean the other ladies have to be back to her.
When he can referee it.
Yeah. Now that it's not being refereed in her favor, she hates playing. So
Robin hates girl games. When he said that, I died laughing. I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
I was just waiting for the extended clip where he's like, but I love them.
I love to watch these girls go back and forth. I love to watch these. And people come at me all the time because I call them girls. Cody just did it too. This is why in polygamy, they do. These men refer to their wives as girls. Oh, these are my girls. Oh, I mean, it might have something to do with the fact that they do underage marriages and brides. I don't know. I mean, go figure. I don't know. But that was our thoughts on this one. I, again, really feel like Mary just had a really great attorney, and Mary held all the cards in this situation.
Yeah. They both had great attorneys.
Right.
That were going to, and yeah. And Cody got an attorney too, but was probably going.
He was too late. Yeah. Once a cloud on title is done, it's stuck until it's resolved.
Or even the attorney just going, Cody, give him, because that's what Cody said. Well, now I'm giving him 25%, and I just don't want him to come after anything else, because his attorneys probably told him, yeah, they could come after more stuff. So, but I think, I mean, we'll see, but I think they're just done. They want to get rid of dealing with Cody.
They're exhausted.
Anything, because Cody and Robin now have their big $2 million house. That's great. But these other women are going to create legacies. They're hard workers. And that's where Robin is super scared, because the hard workers have now all left.
The worker bees have flown the coop.
And now it's up to her and Cody to create something. Well, that's their solace, their little piece of heaven. They hope they can hold on to it while they're, yeah. So,
well, and
the wives that provided him, his biggest fear was poverty. The wives that provided that security are now gone. So,
yeah.
Robin's got to figure something out with her sister wife's closet. Maybe start sister wife's pantry and organize that.
Go in and organize people's homes. Oh, and honestly, when my mom did this with my dad, that was the very first thing she did, was ran and threw a cloud on title. My dad can't do anything with his property until this cloud on title is resolved. And without going into any more detail, I can't go into more detail.
Okay,
no, that happened way before I got involved.
Okay.
That happened before I got my NDA. And so, yes, I did sign an NDA on my parents' things only because my mom's attorney asked me to, because we have a podcast and he doesn't want us talking about certain things on the podcast.
We're doing.
Why? We can talk about that.
Okay.
That was done before I got involved.
Okay.
And my mom needs somebody to drive her to and from, and kind of I mean, when you're going through something like this, it's scary. And somebody might say something and you're just like, oh my gosh, is that true? And so it helps to have a voice of reason on the side. It helps to have somebody say, okay, I know that sounded really scary, but it's not that bad. And where we've both been in real estate, we're not real estate attorney or legal experts at all, but I do understand how title works. I do understand how, and if I don't, I have somebody I can call really quick to ask. And so, yeah, putting that cloud on title is probably one of the most strategic ways to prevent anyone from taking anything out from under you when you are in a legal battle of trying to decide what is true and fair and equitable. So let us know what you guys think. This is an extremely long recap because there's so much going on in here. And we even skipped a bunch because we were starting to run over, but let us know what you guys think in the comments. Also, we are going to tag Holding Out Help in our in the show notes. When you're donating for the holiday season, if you want to take them into consideration, they are an organization who helps women escape these types of abusive situations. They are currently helping my mom in her situation as well. And so we really highly recommend donating to them. I know that they are in desperate need of a lot more donations right now. They have had a 278% increase in need in just the last like 2 years. And so
people leaving these
leaving
cults.
And it's not just the AUB, they're leaving all sorts of polygamists, but holding out help only helps polygamous people. Their therapists are, specialized in cult-like behaviors, but in polygamy. And so, right. So please consider them. We're going to tag them in the show notes, and then let us know what you guys think. Please share our channel. We wanted to create a goal of getting to 20,000 followers by the end of 2025. It's a pretty lofty goal at this point. I don't know if we're going to get there, but if you find what we have to say valuable, please like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to hype our video. Once you like it, then it will automatically switch over to allowing you to hype it. Hyping is a great way to let YouTube know that this is a new video, and you can only hype a video within the first 7 days. And it lets YouTube know that this is a good video and pushing it out to more people who would like to see this type of content. So let us know if you have any additional questions, or if there was something in the episode that we might have missed that you wished we would have covered. Let us know on that. You can also, all of our other social media handles are in the show notes as well. So if we have TikTok, we have Instagram, we do more day-to-day active updates on Instagram, and little clippets and you'll see our drunk nights right off the bat on TikTok if you want to come over there and see those. Anything else?
Nope.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thanks so much.